UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has launched a new effort to include Iran in the upcoming Syria peace talks in Geneva.
Iran can play a very important role. It's a very important regional power. Therefore, logically speaking, and practically and realistically, they should be a part of this meeting.
Ban Ki-moon said that Iran needs to contribute to a peace in Syria, along with others in the region. He also called the division about Iranian participation unfortunate. The remarks came 2 days after the UN Arab League envoy to Syria, Lakhdar Brahimi, released a list of participants for the January talks. Morocco, Algeria, South Africa, India and Indonesia are some of the countries invited to the conference. Brahimi said that Iran is not on the list because of U.S. opposition. Russia, which insists on Iran's participation, has criticized the U.S. position, calling it illogical. The UN chief, however, has expressed hope that the question of Iran's participation can soon be resolved. We're now going to speak to Professor Daoud Khairallah. He's with the Georgetown University, joining us from Washington. Many thanks for joining us here on Press TV, Professor. Now, the role of Iran with regards to this Geneva II conference has been much debated. Why do you think that Iran's role is so important in finding out a solution to the crisis in Syria?
Well, so far, Iran has proved to be a voice of reason in terms of adhering to the norms of international law, having the Syrian people choose whatever destiny they would want to take, whatever changes they would want to make, and first and foremost, having some kind of a peaceful settlement of the Syrian conflict, unlike other countries, other neighboring countries, who have been recruiting mercenaries, terrorists, sponsoring them, arming them, funding them to carry out terrorist activities and to continue or to maintain the bloodlet in Syria that is going on. Iran is close to the Syrian regime. Iran is a major country in the area. So it's the most logical thing that Iran participates, especially when we see other countries that, as I said, are sponsoring, recruiting, funding, and arming terrorists, not inside Syria, but bringing them from all over the world. And it's a little bit ironic to have these people, those who are behind the bloodlet in Syria, going to a peace conference, and the country that has been calling for a peaceful settlement being kept away.
Right now, as you also pointed out, Russia has said that keeping Iran out of this Geneva II peace conference is illogical. Then why is the U.S. so adamant in doing so?
I have the feeling that the U.S. is trying to put some pressure to obtain some concession from Iran prior to Iran going to the meeting. Concessions that would be first and foremost in the best interest of Israel. Concessions in the form of, would you promise to change the regime or go along with whatever version of the Geneva I arrangement that is, according to our interpretation, it involves some kind of basic changes. And would you go along with us that Assad should not remain there? And the Iranians have been saying all along that let the Syrian people determine who they want. And they might also tell them, would you give us some promises that they will stop helping Hezbollah, helping the resistance, helping the Palestinians? I think the U.S. involvement in this whole thing is purely the Israeli interests, first and foremost.
Okay, I'm going to have to stop you there, Professor. I'm afraid we've run out of time. That was Professor Daoud Khairallah with the Georgetown University joining us from Washington. Thank you very much indeed, Professor, for your comments here on Press TV.